Good morning to all of you. Now, this is your part 2 for accountancy lesson number 1. Let's do little bit of revision first. See, the first paragraph in that it is given in brief accounting. Here they are just defining again what do you mean by accounts. Okay, so this is just the revision of a accounting definition. Accounting is a record. It classifies, it analyzes the transactions and events and give the conclusion. That is, we were telling it as interpretation. After having an interpretation on the basis of this conclusion, a report is prepared. Here the meaning of report is account, that is annual account. Okay, that we are going to discuss later on. Okay, but annual account, just a brief introduction I would like to give you for accounting, that is annual accounts. Annual account is nothing but the companies are preparing or the firms are preparing the annual account of their business. An annual account consists of, that is annual account, or it can be also known as final account. Okay, it consists of, first there is trading account, then there is a profit and loss account, and last there is balance sheet. Okay, so these three things are showing the detail of the whole business. Trading account normally shows that what are the purchases and sales of your business. Profit and loss itself, it is saying that it shows profit and loss. Balance sheet is showing the assets and liabilities. Okay, that we will discuss later on in the terminology, that what do you mean by assets and what do you mean by liabilities. Okay, so just for a brief understand that accounting is nothing but it is a record, it is a classification, and it analyzes all the transaction, and on the basis of that interpretations are done, and on the basis of that interpretation reports are prepared, and that report is nothing but that is annual account. Okay, now see here they have given the accounting process. First, identification of transaction and events and their measurement in money. Okay, how you will identify the transaction? See, for example, how we can identify, either it is a cash transaction or it is a credit transaction. I have previously also told, cash transaction means when you're purchasing or selling something and you get that is, if you're purchasing and you're paying on the spot cash, or if you're selling and you're getting on the spot cash. Okay, it means you're receiving cash, that is on the spot or on hand, so that is known as cash transaction. Credit transaction means you are not paying on that particular time but you will be paying later on, that is known as credit transaction. Sorry. Okay, so this is known as that identification of transaction. Further again we can say that different type of transactions are there. Okay, so we will be doing, that is either it is purchase or sales. So we can see that in second also. See, recording, then we will record the transaction, we will classify them. So again here classification, that it is related to purchase, it is related to sales, it is related to some income, it is related to some expense, like this. Okay, so recording, classification, conclusion, analysis and interpretation of financial transaction. So see, first step is input of transaction and event. The second point is known as, that is process, and the third one, out of this, after recording, classification, interpretation, conclusion, we prepare the report, and that report is here. Okay, that is the last stage. So presentation of report to the users of financial information. See, who are the users here? We have already seen, okay, in the part 1, that is users, that are also stakeholders. Okay, there are many parties, those who are related to the business. So this reports, this balance sheet are always useful to all the stakeholders or all the users. Okay, those who are related to our business. Okay, so here this is over. Now we will go with the objective of accounting. Okay, that is our fourth point. Now see, what do you mean by objective of accounting? Now, what do we mean by objectives of accounting? Objective means what is the aim of accounting? Why do we prepare accounts? Okay, so that is nothing but, see the first point. Okay, so here we will be discussing, that is objectives or aim of accounting. Why it is necessary for us to prepare accounting? See the first point, it is saying permanent records. Okay, so if you are not keeping the records, will you be able to remember each and every transaction which is taking place, okay, for a month or for a week? That is impossible for us to remember each and every transaction. So just to keep the permanent record, we are preparing the accounts. Okay, so see, in accounting, transactions and events are recorded in written form. These records are kept either in the form of books or recorded in computer on permanent basis. So either it will be recorded in computer or it will be recorded in the books for the permanent record. So if you want to see these records after 10 years also, okay, it is available with you. Fine. Then second, to know the effect of each transaction. Okay, what do we mean by this? See, each transaction has its effect on overall profitability or economic condition of business. Thus, accounting help in obtaining this information. Okay, so here effect of each transaction. What will be the effect of each transaction? If we are doing purchase, how much cash is going from the business? If we are selling any of the product, how much cash is coming in the business? Okay, if we are selling for a month, what is the amount of profit or what is the amount of loss? So these are all the effects of each transaction. So there are number of transactions which take place in the business and the effect can be known for that. See the third point, to know influential factors. Now what do we mean by this? See, the information of factors affecting profit or loss as well as economic condition of the business can be obtained by preparing account. This objective plays vital role in preparation of account. Okay, see, economic condition, it means if we are suffering loss, then our economic condition is not good. If we are if the profit we are earning, okay, the amount of profit is good, then it says that our economic condition is also sound. Okay, so influential factors in that there are many conditions in the market. Okay, recession is there, depression is there, which we say as mandi and tezi. Okay, so these are all economic conditions which affect the business. Okay, so these are the influential factors. With this we can understand what is our position. Okay, that is our financial or economical condition is sound or not. So we can find out that also. Next, see, to determine tax liability. Generally, the tax payment liability is determined on the basis of prepared account. The burden of tax is determined on the basis of income of the taxpayer. Therefore, the objective to prepare account is to determine the tax liability. We can also say that if profit is more, then more tax will be we are supposed to pay. If we are not ascertaining, if we are not preparing these accounts, how we will come to know about the profit? Okay, so on the basis of profit or loss only the amount of tax is decided. So for this purpose also we need to prepare the accounts. Okay, then fifth point, to know the quantum size of payables. See, what do you mean by payables? Means the amount which you are supposed to pay. Okay, payables means amount supposed to be paid in future. Okay, yet you have not paid, you will be paying it in future. Okay, so that is known as payable. Okay, in business, in place of cash transaction, credit transaction are also made. That I have explained you earlier, that there are many times credit transaction also in business. For example, purchase of raw material on credit. However, this payment is to be made in future. Till the non-payment of this transaction, it is treated as liability. Now again, this is the new word for you, liability. What do you mean by liability? Means in future you are supposed to pay that amount. Okay, so liability means to pay. Okay, that is, you'll have to pay it. Okay, at the end of the year, what is the quantum of liability can be ascertained from accounts. Okay, I told you here that there is a balance sheet. Okay, so in balance sheet again there are two parts. One is liability and one is assets. Okay, liability point we have covered here, that whatever you are supposed to pay, that is your liability. Okay, asset means from this you will get money. Okay, that also will learn in future, but right now just understand asset means either you can convert it into cash. Okay, so you get money out of assets. Liability means you have to pay the money in future. Okay, the assets will discuss later on in detail. So here, that is to know the quantum size of payable. So if these accounts are not prepared, how we will come to know that in future how much total amount we are supposed to pay? So for that purpose also account is very from the transactions the accounts are to be prepared. It is necessary. Okay, next, to know the quantum of receivables. Okay, see, payables and receivables are opposite to each other. your amount supposed to be paid in future, and this is amount supposed to be received in future. Is it clear? Okay, so payables and receivables are opposite to each other. Okay, amount supposed to be received in future. Same point. Okay, as you are supposed to know that how much the amount you are supposed to pay, so here also if accounts are not prepared, you won't be knowing that how much amount you are supposed to receive. Okay, so because according to human tendency, we cannot remember each and every transaction. Okay, so here if the accounts are prepared, we can know the exact amount that how much we are supposed to receive from different parties. Okay, so see, like credit purchase, goods are sold on credit. See, you can also remember when payable is created, so when there is a credit purchase. Same way, when is receivable coming out, so when there is credit sales. Okay, because when you'll sell, okay, on credit, then only you will get the money in future. Okay, this amount is receivable in the future. Until the non-receipt of this amount, it is shown in the books as receivable. Up till that time period, you are not receiving the amount. Okay, so till that particular time period, it is coming under the heading of receivables. Okay, the day when you receive it, that is known as receipt. Okay, this information can be obtained from accounts. Next is to measure profitability of the business. See, again, if you are not preparing the profit and loss account, okay, this, so you won't know that whether your business is suffering profit or your business is going through losses. Okay, so again, to know the profit and loss situation, we are supposed to prepare the profit and loss account. Okay, so see, profit and loss account can be prepared only when the transactions are being recorded. Okay, so see, the significant objective, that is the important objective of account. Okay, significant means this is the important objective. Okay, because all the business wants to know that how much profit they are earning, so this objective is very important. So the important objective of account is to measure earned profit or incurred loss for respective period. Okay, why they are saying respective period? That is accounting period. Okay, and you should understand now, being a student of commerce, you should know that the accounting period will be from April to March. Okay, as we all know that 31st March is the ending period of the accounting year, so our new period starts from April and its end on March. Okay, so this is known as accounting period, or it is also known as financial year. Okay, so this should be clear in your mind. Okay, now the next point, that is objective of accounting, is to know economic status of business. Okay, at the end of, see, status, what kind of status you will be knowing? Economic status, and economic status can be measured in terms of profit or loss. Okay, so at the end of the year, what is the size of liability, asset, receivable of the business can be seen from the accounts under accounting system. When assets and receivable are more than liability, it can be said that it is a good economic condition. So economic condition, which is known as solvency, can be known from accounts. Okay, so here in terms of, after calculating profit and loss, you will be finding out, you will be preparing your balance sheet. Okay, and in balance sheet you will be knowing your liabilities and assets. Remember that assets and receivables should be more than liability. Okay, so it is said that it is a good economic condition. Why it is said that asset should be more? See, and the ideal ratio for asset and liability, okay, the ideal ratio for asset and liability is what? 2:1. Okay, it means if you have one liability, then you should have two assets. Okay, so the ratio is 2:1. So such condition is said that good condition, because if some problem occurs and you are supposed to pay the money, and if you have enough asset, then you can sell your asset and you can pay your liability. So such economic condition is also known as solvency. Okay, now we will go to our 9th point, that is to detect and avoid errors and fraud. By investigating prepared accounts, financial mistake or crimes can be traced out. Okay, so if you are not preparing accounts, you will not come to know you will not come to know about any mistakes, or if somebody is doing fraud, that also you will not come to know. So this is also one of the objective of preparing accounting, that if you are preparing it, then if somebody is doing fraud or somebody is doing any kind of mistake, okay, knowingly or unknowingly, then that mistakes can be traced out. Okay, accounting help to prevent such kind of undesirable events. Accounting maintains indirect control to avoid errors and frauds. Okay, so accounting is helping you indirectly to control such kind of errors or frauds. Okay, so these are the objectives of accounting, that why we should prepare the accounting, or why we should do the accounting of the transaction. Okay, accounting is used for above mentioned purpose. There are several benefits due to the existence and use of accounting. These are discussed as follow. Okay, now we will be seeing the advantages of accounting. See, many of the objectives will be covered again in advantages also. Okay, see the first advantage, availability of accounting information. Okay, this information you can use anytime in future. Okay, see, accounting information is prepared by any owner of any business. If this information is readily available, it can be used by the owner as and when it is needed. For example, an owner wants to obtain a loan from a bank. He can produce prepared accounting information of his economic status and can obtain a loan. See, when you're going to take the loan from bank or from any financial institution, they don't know your financial soundness or your economic status. Okay, so if you are showing them your accounts, okay, they will come to know about your assets, liability, your profit and loss. So total overall your economic condition they will come to know from these accounts. Okay, and on basis of these accounts only your loan will be sanctioned. Okay, so again this is one of the advantage, that whenever the information is needed you can see it. Okay, second point, second advantage is, that is to know profitability. During specific accounting period, how much profit is earned or how much loss is incurred by the business, this information is provided by accounting. This information is ascertained from profit and loss account. Okay, so from profit and loss account you can find out that how much profit or how much loss you have been occurring, okay, in your business, what is the status. Then see, to know financial status, again at the end of the period when the size of liability for the business can be ascertained. If the size of liability of business is more, it indicates that weak economic condition. Previously also we have discussed this in objective, that if liability is more compared to asset, then there is the economic condition is weak. If the size of liability of business is less and asset is more, then it indicates good economic condition. So this economic status also can be ascertained through balance sheet. Next, you can plan out your tax, because more the amount of profit, more will be the tax. Okay, so on the basis of your amount of profit you can find out that how much tax you are supposed to pay. So see, tax on earned income has to be paid by every business unit in different forms. The determination of tax size is based on the quantum of transaction of business. Quantum means if there is more amount of transaction, so more amount of profit. Same way, so you can plan out your tax. Okay, keeping in mind quantum of transaction, what amount of tax is to be paid for respective period is ascertained from accounts. From this information, planning for tax payable during the period can be made. So you can plan out that how much tax you are supposed to pay on the basis of the profit. Then valuation of business. Okay, you can value out your you can ascertain the value of your business. In practice, sometimes an owner sell his own business to another person. Under this circumstances, what should be the selling price of the business? Accounting is helpful to determine this selling price. What is the profitability of the business? What is the economic condition? Okay, so thus this sort of information is provided by accounting. Therefore, in this manner, accounting assists in business valuation. Assist mean help. Okay, so it helps you to take the decision. Okay, so what will be the decision regarding what should be the value of business? Okay, because you can find out the amount of profit. If the economic condition is good, it means your goodwill will also be good in the market. So in this way you can determine the value of your business. Next point is decision making. Okay, see, different form of business like sole proprietor, partnership, firm, company prepare their own account. Specifically, accounts of company are used by several stakeholders. I have told you earlier also, stakeholders, all the related parties to your business are known as stakeholders. That is creditors, shareholders, investors. Okay, so they have to take decision whether to give you money or not, whether to invest in your company or not. So all these decisions are to be taken. Thus accounting plays a vital role in decision making, that is important role. Okay, next is as an evidence, that is proof. Okay, evidence means you can use it as a proof. So see, the formation of account is based on accounting rules and principles. Thus accounts prepared in such manner are considered reliable. Due to this quality of reliability, at the time of any dispute, accounts are used as evidence. Okay, so if there are any disputes, if there are any fights among the partners, so this can be treated as an evidence. In case of any dispute in the context of account between partners of a partnership firm, accounts become evidence to bring the solution for the purpose of justice. Okay, then next, see, comparison with past operation. Okay, so the rules and principles of accounts do not change. Due to this feature, present performance of profitability or economic condition can be compared with the past information. If you want to compare your this year data with last 10 years data, so you can compare it, because every year the method of accounting is same. It is not going to be changed. If development has not taken place or is not as per the expectation, planning can be undertaken to achieve in future. When you are doing the comparison, and if you are lacking somewhere, so you can find out and you can take the decisions. Okay, apart from this, account can be compared with the accounts of competitors. Okay, so here you can compare the accounts of the competitors with each other also. So you can find out that how your competitor is there. Okay, or what is the liability of your competitor, what is the assets of your competitor. So in this way you can also do comparison with the competitors also. Now let us see point number 9 in advantages. Okay, advantages of accounting, that is moral control. Accounts are written form. These are used as evidence. Thus the chances of fraud made by employees are reduced. Accounting assists to keep moral control over the employees. Okay, as your employees will be always afraid that each and everything is being recorded, they will be afraid of doing any kind of fraud. Okay, so such accounting records will keep moral control over the employees. Okay, next is corrective measures. In practice, it so happened that business suffered due to some past decision made by the owner or the management of the business. The effect of these decisions are reflected in the accounts. To avoid the recurrence of such mistake, corrective measures and necessary care is generally taken. Suppose in past, in any year, you have taken some wrong decision, and because of that wrong decisions, company has suffered a huge amount of loss. Okay, so that particular year and that mistake will be recorded, okay, in books of your account, and you will mention one line note that because of this mistake this loss was being incurred. Okay, so now in future you will take corrective measures, you will take a correct step, and you will not repeat the mistake again. Okay, so these are your advantages of accounting. As we'll see further, as a component of social science, accounting has its own separate existence. As stated earlier, accounting work under predetermined rules and principles. Because of such changes in the society, or because of predetermined rules or principle, some limitations also arise. These limitations are discussed and under. Okay, as you know that each and everything has some pros and cons. Okay, as advantages are there, so limitations also would be there. So we'll see the limitations of accounting now. Okay, see the first limitation. Okay, that is non-financial transaction. Okay, in accounting, those transactions are recorded, the value which can be measured in terms of money. We have seen, okay, that in accounts only economic transactions are being recorded, which is why we are telling economic transaction, because that transactions are recorded in terms of money. For example, purchase or sale of material, purchase or sale of asset, etc. Okay, the qualities like honesty, loyalty, commitment of employees working in the organization play significant role for the development of business. These aspects are not considered in accounting. Okay, you have some honest employee, okay, and because of his honesty and because of his work, you are gaining profit. Okay, but we cannot record the efficiency and good work and honesty of such employees in the accounts. Okay, so there are few things which are not being able to be recorded in the account. Okay, so such kind of non-financial transactions we cannot record in accountancy. Okay, next we will see that is stable value of money. See now, accounting assume that value of money is stable. For example, an asset was purchased before 5 years for rupees 50,000. If replacement is done, then in this, okay, in this case more than 50,000 has to be paid to acquire the same type of asset due to inflation. Now before 5 years the particular thing was of rupees 50,000. Now because of inflation, okay, now the prices have increased. So accounting assume that value of money remains stable. Practically this is not possible. A stable value of money assumption can be treated as limitation of accounting. Okay, you in your books of account you will record that this particular amount costed you 50,000, but now after 5 years or after 2 years the value will not be same. Okay, so there is no stable value of money for anything in accountancy. Okay, that is in market you will not be able to see any stable value for any of the product. Next we will see that historical transaction or events. In accounting, historical transactions or events are recorded. No corrections are allowed in transaction for any mistake, but still historical transaction and events are useful to take future decision. Okay, see in past you have done some mistake. Okay, so what they have stated that no corrections are allowed in transaction for any mistake. So in past if you have done a mistake, okay, so you won't be coming to know that in past you have done this kind of mistake. Okay, and if you're coming to know also, then you can change also. For example, in right now it is 2020. Now if you are seeing that 2018 data, okay, and you're coming to know that in that particular year you have made this mistake, so now that year is gone, we cannot rectify it. Okay, so in history, if that is in past, if there is some mistake, then we cannot rectify such kind of mistake, though we are right now knowing that that was a mistake. Okay, then avoidance of market value. The value of asset keeps on changing. Their market price keeps on changing. In accounting, market value is ignored and only actual cost based treatment are given. Okay, we are not supposed to record the things at market value. Okay, we are supposed to record the things at actual cost. Whatever is the actual cost of that particular item, we are supposed to record that only. Okay, though the market value of that particular good is increasing or decreasing, you cannot take that value. Okay, then use of estimates. In accounting, items like bad debt reserve. Now first of all, what do you mean by bad debt reserve? Okay, first I'll explain what do you mean by bad debt. Okay, then I'll explain what is bad debt reserve. See, what do you mean by bad debts in terms of account? Okay, if you have given someone 10,000 rupees and he has promised you to pay that particular 10,000 rupees after a month. Now after a month, now he is not ready to pay you that 10,000 rupees. 6 months have been passed. Okay, still he is not paying. 1 year has been passed, still he is not paying. So now that particular party is not paying you that 10,000 which we have given to him. Okay, now what will happen? That 10,000 will become bad debt for me because that particular party is not ready to pay me. Okay, so now this is my bad debt. I am not able to recover this 10,000 from him. So this is my bad debt. Now what do we mean by bad debt reserve? Now in business there are many times some parties become liquidate. Okay, it means they don't have any single penny to pay the money, to pay the amount. Okay, as because of the losses their whole business have been shut down and now they are not having any amount to pay it. Okay, so in that circumstances the amount which we were supposed to recover from them, now it has been declared as bad debt. So what the businessmen are doing, they are keeping some amount as a reserve inside. Okay, that is aside, and that particular amount they will use in case of bad debt. Okay, so what do you mean by bad debt reserve? Reserve means you are keeping aside. Okay, in future when you are facing some problem or some kind of bad debt take place, then you will use this amount which you have kept aside as a reserve. So that is meant by bad debt reserve. Okay, now we'll see this point, that bad debt reserve is determined on estimation. See, I don't know that in future how many people will pay me the amount or not. I will only do the assumption that I am keeping 10,000 or 50,000 aside in the business for bad debt reserve. Okay, if estimates are mistake oriented, so if my estimation is wrong, it will be reflected in the account, because if I am not able to cover up that amount, then in my accounts there will be loss. Okay, so but this kind of estimation are done on the basis of past experience and logic, so possibility of mistake remains minimum. Okay, so because of this estimations there are chances that we can take wrong decision. Okay, or we can just face the problem if we have not properly estimated the amount. Okay, dual standard. Dual means double. Okay, there are two important components of accounts: profit and loss and balance sheet. Profit and loss, which is also known as income statement. Okay, remember this, the another name of profit and loss is income statement. Okay, it is prepared on current prices, while item of balance sheet are disclosed at old prices. Okay, so see here dual standard are coming. The amounts which you are recording in P&L account is based on current prices, remember this also, and the items which we are recording in balance sheet are based on old price. That, for example, see, right now it is 2019. Okay, now if we are showing building on asset side in balance sheet, and the amount of building we are showing, that is 5 lakhs. Okay, now this building was purchased in the year, that is 2015. Okay, so we are right now showing that it is 5 lakh. So this building was previously purchased in the year 2015, and that same building we are carrying down till right now, because still that building is with us and we have not sold it. Okay, so here the price, that 5 lakh, okay, that 5 lakh what we are showing, that was the amount which was 5 years ago. Okay, so here in this case, that is the assets, in the balance sheet, the items which we are showing, that we are showing at the old prices, and in P&L account whatever current right now, whatever income or whatever expenses we are incurring, that we are showing. Okay, so these are known as dual standards. Okay, next, see, in spite of having this limitation, accounting has very practical and important role for owners of business, government and other stakeholders like investors, creditors, lenders, etc. Okay, so though it has some limitation, but then also it is very important for all the stakeholders. This limitation of accounting do not work as hurdle in the development of accounting. Beside, this limitation can be removed because accounting has been developed as a language of business and science and art. Okay, so though there are few limitations, but then also it is very important that in each and every business the records should take place and accounts should be maintained. Okay, because accounts have been now developed as a language of business. Okay, we can say it that it is a language of business. Okay, and it is also science and art. That we'll see how. See here, it is said that accounting as a language of business. Okay, so accounting is known as a language of business. Through accounting, information of business transaction is provided through language, either by writing or speaking or analyzing or interpreting any content is described or explained by one person to another. Okay, see, if the accounts have been written, I don't need anyone to explain me that. If I know accounts, then I can understand it. Okay, the whole accounts of that particular company. So it is not necessary that one person has to explain it to another person. If the person is knowing the accounts, okay, he can understand everything. Okay, thus it is said that account is a language of business. Okay, this function is performed by accounting by providing information of business activity or result to the related parties. Language is used with its own predetermined norms. Okay, norms means rules. Okay, what do you mean by norms here? So norms means rules. Okay, so you know that these rules are common everywhere. Okay, wherever you go, the accounting rules are not going to change. Okay, so accounting is also used with its own predetermined rules which are previously decided, okay, by the Department of Accounts. Language has a feature of flexibility, hence time-based changes are incorporated in it. In accounting also time-based changes are incorporated. Okay, so time to time, as day by day the days are passing, there is a need to be changed. Okay, so here in accounting also there will be changes, but these changes will be done by, that is then institution, okay, who is at the head, who will be treated as the head for the accounts department. Okay, so Chartered Accountant of India, this will do the changes. Okay, so we have seen that there are many institutions, we have seen in the definition. Okay, so here in this case also these changes we cannot do. Okay, so the institutions under which the accounts are being formed, okay, that is the norms for accountancy has been formed, they will only do the changes according to time and time. Okay, now we will see how accounts is science and art. Okay, see, science is always based on rules and principles. Okay, in science what is there? Rules are there, laws are there, principles are there. So in accountancy also we have seen that there are some rules. Okay, so these rules and principles are universally accepted. Okay, so accounting is also, again, science rules are universally accepted. So we have seen that accounts also, it is everywhere same. Okay, there is no change in rules. So Thus, therefore, we can say that accounting is also a science. Its formation is based on rules and universally accepted principles prepared by human beings. Okay, this has been prepared. It is not a natural. Okay, it is man-made. Okay. To record economic transactions of the business, they are classified on the basis of accounting rule. This you'll learn in future. Okay, on the basis, there are 3 rules. On the basis of that, you will classify. Okay, that which transaction goes under which account. To record transaction, an individual skill is not required. Only rules are to be followed. Okay, because rules are to be followed. The rules are same everywhere. Okay, so personal skill is not there, but the rules are to be followed. Each and every person has to follow that rules. When accounts are prepared by different person, the process of preparation of accounts and its result will remain the same. Okay, if one transaction is given to 10 person, okay, the transaction, if it is recorded by all the 10 person, then the answer will be same, which will be given by all 10 person, because the rules are same in accountancy. Okay, thus due to rules and principle, accounting is known as a science. So because of this rule, okay, accountancy is treated as science. Now see, apart from science, accounting is also known as an art. Now how it is an art, that we'll see. Accounting is mainly categorized into 3 categories: financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. Okay, so remember this also, that accounting is categorized into 3 parts, that is financial accounting, cost accounting, and management accounting. Keeping the limitation of this accounting in mind, a specific skill to prepare account is also required. Okay, so if I am having good knowledge, okay, of accounting, then I am holding the skill. Okay, and that skill makes accounting as an art. Okay, so the presentation of anything in different manner without changing its nature and meaning is known as an art. Okay, so here see why they have stated that anything in different manner without changing its nature, because I cannot change the rules of accounting. Okay, but few are very specialized skill in writing the accounts. Okay, so that we can say that they are having an art to write down the transactions very nicely. They will not write down in some different way. Okay, they will write down with the same way, following the same rules which are being given, okay, for accountancy, but they will be very knowledgeable, and they are very skillful in writing the accounts. Okay, so this makes accounting as an art. Okay, so clear how accounting is science, how accounting is art, and how accounting is treated as a language of business. Let us start the new point, that is point number 7, qualitative characteristics of accounting information. See, they have stated qualitative. Be very clear in your mind with qualitative word and quantitative. Quantitative means which can be measured in terms of any figure. Okay, and qualitative means quality. Okay, itself it is saying qualitative means quality. Okay, so what kind of a quality your accounting information should take place. Okay, so here in qualitative characteristics you will be seeing that what kind of quality will be holding with your account, you will be holding with your accounting information. Okay, so let us start. The use of accounts prepared is not confined to accounts preparers and owner of the business. Okay, so whatever accounts you are preparing, you are not only preparing for your own sake. The information presented in the account is used by different parties also. I have told different stakeholders are there, those who are using your information. Okay, parties such as creditors, government, lender institutions are included. It is expected from accounting that whichever accounts are prepared or presented should have qualitative characteristic. Okay, so we will see what kind of qualitative characteristic it should hold. The characteristics like reliability, relevance, understandability, and comparison are qualitative characteristics. Okay, so these are the 4 characteristics of qualitative accounting information, which we'll see in detail. Okay, these characteristics cannot be measured. Why it cannot be measured? Because you cannot measure in terms of some figure or money. Okay, these qualities assist, that is help to sustain trust of users in accounting information. They use this information without any fear. They take the relevant decision. The explanation of this characteristic is given as under. See, first we'll see reliability. Okay, reliability means trust. Okay, the information should be reliable. When it is correct 100%, okay, then it is reliable. But if it is not correct and some fake figures are being stated, then we can say that it is not reliable data. Okay, or you are taking some from somewhere else. Okay, but when the company itself is giving and they are telling that 100% the data which is being given by them is correct, then it is reliable. So see, The first qualitative feature of accounting is reliability. The user information believe that prepared information represent real picture. Okay, it means the information which is stated, it is correct. The task of information preparer is to sustain the trust of user. Okay, so the user will have trust on the preparer that he has presented us the correct information. The prepared information has to be completely errorless. There should not be any kind of chance to have mistake. There should not be inclusion of opinion of accountant or any other party. Okay, it should not be influenced by the accountant or any other party. If rules and principles are fully followed, the prepared information would automatically disclose trustworthy presentation. It means when you are writing these accounts, you should see that proper rules and principles are being followed. Okay, so that disclosed information will be trustworthy. Under the head of reliability, trustworthy presentation, neutrality, it means you are neutral, you are not considering anything on behalf of anyone. Okay, personal interest is not there. And full disclosure means each and every item is disclosed in account, are included in sub characteristic. Okay, so these are the characteristics of qualitative, okay, and qualitative of accounting information. And in reliability, what is there? So trustworthy should be there, trustworthy presentation, neutrality, and full disclosure is there. Okay, now we will see the second point. See, what is second point? Relevance means relevant. Okay, so see, relevant information is that information which meets the needs of the user. Okay, so it should be relevant, it means it should be useful to you. It means again that is it should be related to your data. Okay, it will help you in doing your business. Okay, so it is relevant, is competent enough to meet the needs of user of information. Relevance is that kind of characteristic which assists users to take decision based on this information. So it should be relevant to your business, and on that basis you can take different kind of decision also. The information prepared or presented by the accountant has to be such kind on the basis of which investor can decide. So such kind of decisions will be taken by the investors, that whether his past decision were appropriate or not, whether his present decision are appropriate or not, whether his future decision will be appropriate or not. Okay, so this data should be relevant, that is it should be useful to you in context of past, present, and future decisions. Okay, next, understandability. Okay, understandability means if somebody is writing and if the accounts are not clear, it is not you are not able to understand. Okay, so that is that accounts which have been written are of no meaning. Okay, so understandability should be coming out from the accounts which are being written by you. In addition to relevance, see, now we will discuss in detail. In addition to relevance, the presented information should be of that kind which can be easily understood and interpreted by the information users. So those who are going through with your accounts, they should easily understand it and interpret the information. Understandability means provided information should have clear meaning. Okay, at the same time, preliminary knowledge of business activities and accounting is expected from the user of information. Accounting has its own terminology, rules and principles that we have already seen. Okay, accounting is having their own rules and principles. So if information user is not acquainted with this, he will not be able to understand. If a person who is not having any kind of knowledge of accounts, then he won't be able to understand anything. Okay, so in brief, information presented in account should have quality of understandability. A person who is knowing the rules and principles of account, and your accounts are written in a very properly and nicely way, and all the rules are being followed, then your information will be easily understood by the user. So the user also should have knowledge of expected content. Okay, so it is necessary that the user should have the knowledge of accounts, then only he can understand the accounts, otherwise it won't be understandable by him. Next, it is comparability. Another qualitative characteristic of accounting is comparability. Accounting information should be prepared and presented in such a manner where user can undertake comparison of profitability and economic solvency of two period. Two period means of 2 year. For example, 2020 data I am comparing with 2019, that what was the profit in 2019 and 2020. Economic solvency, I have stated previously, we have defined, I have explained that what do you mean by solvency. solvency means your asset should be more than your liability. Okay, so such condition is solvent for you. Okay, so that is your condition is economically solvent. Okay, when your assets are more than your liability. So all this should be in a comparable state. Due to quality of comparability, user take their decision by undertaking the comparison of result of two different periods. In case of company accounts, it includes accounting information of previous year and current year. Okay, previous year will be 2019, current year will be 2020 for income statement. Income statement mean P&L account, and balance sheet and cash flow statement. Okay, cash flow statement is nothing but it presents cash inflow and cash outflow. Inflow means how much cash is coming in the business. Cash outflow means how much cash will go out of the business. This cash flow statement you will study in detail in 12th standard. Okay, here the comparison of accounting information of two different period is made. Beside this, inter-firm comparison can also be made. That is, you can even compare one department with other department, one company with other company. Okay, so in brief, fully correct and useful information by including qualitative characteristics can be presented as follow. See, fully correct and useful information. Okay, when you can say that your information is fully correct and useful, when there four characteristics are there, that is reliability, relevance, understandability and comparability. Okay, so these are the qualitative characteristics of accounting information. Clear till here? Let us start now our new point number 8, user of accounting information and their needs. Okay, so in this we will see different stakeholders, those who are using accounting information, and why do they need this accounting information, that we will see in detail. Okay, so see, the form of business is developed from sole proprietor to partnership firm and partnership firm to company. Okay, this you will learn that there are different forms of business organization. One is sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship means there will be only one person who will have the power of that particular business. Okay, so he will be only one and whole and sole the owner of that particular business. Then comes partnership. Partnership, there may be more than two up till 20 persons, those who will be able to running the business. After partnership there is company. So when there are more than 20 person, okay, so that firm is converted into company. Okay, so here we have seen that there are three forms of business organization. One is proprietorship, one is partnership and one is company. Due to this development, the boundaries of the use of information are also extended. Okay, as and when your business is developed, okay, so slowly there will be more and more people, those who will be indulging in your business and they will have interest in your business. The accounts are made by sole proprietor or partnership firm to meet with their personal and legitimate requirements, that is legal requirements. In this form of business, generally owners and management are same entity. Okay, here owner and management, that is the owner only will have the management power. Okay, so they are both same entity, means same person. Thus the use of information in confined to them means this information will be around them only. Okay, so they will be the only person, those who will be whole and sole around the whole business activity. Okay, in company form, the business owner and management are different entities. See, in company, in here they have said that in sole proprietorship, okay, that is owner and management both are same, so only they will be the they will only use the whole information. Okay, nobody else will be using this information. But when you are going to company form business, okay, owners and management both are different entities. Okay, management, there may be directors. Okay, so all managers will be there. So your owner is different and management is different. Okay, so thus because of government restriction, the information of companies becomes public information. Here in this case, the government restrictions, okay, it will be coming, that is government restrictions are there where the information of company becomes public information. It means the company has to publish its annual report. What is there in annual report? So balance sheet is there, trading account, P&L account, that all. So they have to publicly issue all this information to public. Okay, therefore there are several users of information who can be included in the group of users. Which kind of information do they require are explained below. See, we will see first management. Now management will require which kind of information, that we will see. Okay, so in the company form, shareholders are treated as owners and board of directors undertakes management. Okay, who are the owners? So the shareholders. Who are shareholders? So those who are purchasing the shares of that particular company are known as shareholders, and they are the real owners of the company. Whereas the board of directors, okay, those who are the directors, they will be treated as management. Okay, so your owner is different, management is different. Okay, the effect of policy decision made by them is reflected in the accounts. Whether they have achieved determined goal or not, that information can be obtained from accounts. So their function is to achieve predetermined goals. Predetermined means which they have decided previously through planning and control. So when they are starting the business, they are deciding their goals. Okay, so that goals are known as predetermined goals. When they do the business, okay, so after few time period, they will compare that what they have decided and what they have received. Okay, so they identify the variances. Variances means, for example, they have their target of sales was 1 lakh, and now their sales took place, that is 80,000. So why there is a difference of 20,000, that is variance. Okay, so they will find out the reasons that why they lagged for this 20,000 amount of sale, which did not took place. Okay, see further. Then by comparing planned estimates with actual result. Okay, plan means they have planned that there will be sale of 1 lakh rupees. Now what is the actual result? The actual result is that the sale is of 80,000 rupees. Okay, so there is a lackness of rupees 20,000. So they will take corrective measures to avoid repetition of this kind of variances. So they will try to avoid that such kind of differences should not come. Account is the best tool to measure efficiency of management. Management can be classified as internal user. Okay, management is internal because in management who is there? Board of directors are there. So they are an internal part of the company. Thus accounts are very important for management. Okay, so why accounts are very important for management? Because management wants to see their own efficiency, what kind of activities they are performing, and which type of results they are receiving. Okay, so like this information is very important for the management. Next we will see that is shareholders. Okay, again I'll repeat, what do you mean by shareholder? The person who is purchasing the shares of that particular company are known as shareholders. Okay, so as per legal provision, management has to send the certified copy of accounts to all the shareholder in a prescribed time period. Prescribed time period means after 31st March, when the year is coming to an end. Okay, the company has to send the copy of annual report, that is trading account, P&L account and balance sheet, to each and every shareholder within prescribed time period which is given to them. It is the right of shareholder to obtain the copy of account, and at the same time it is the duty of a company. For shareholder it is a right, they should receive this annual account report, and for company it is their duty to send this report to all the shareholders. Shareholder analyzed published financial and non-financial information and undertake review of decision for their investment in the company. Then shareholder will see and they will study that what is the balance sheet situation, how much assets are there, how many liabilities are there. Okay, and they will compare each and everything, and then they will see that their investment is sound or not. It means their investment is safe or not. If liabilities are more, then they will find out that their investments are not safe, and then soon they will sell the shares. Okay, that is if in future the share prices are reducing, okay, decreasing, then the shareholders will be at loss. So right now only they will analyze the future with this information, and if they are seeing that there is risk in future, then what the shareholders will do, they will sell that particular shares immediately. Okay, they can learn about the development and forecast the future of the company. They make decision either to dispose of. See, I told, and dispose of means they will take the decision that whether they should sold off the shares or not, or to retain the shares, or to keep the shares. If the situation is sound and good information we are getting that assets are increasing, profit is increasing, and because of this slowly the prices of the shares will also increase, then in that case the shareholders will not sell the shares of the company. On the basis of this information, now companies have started to send accounts through email for environmental protection. Okay, why environmental protection? See, because annual report was being sent, okay, physical, so that was in the form of a booklet, pages were being used in that. Okay, the environment were destroying because as they were sending the pages, so for that the trees were being cut off to prepare the pages. So for the environmental protection, now the companies have started to send this information of balance sheet, trading account and P&L account through email, so where the paper will be less used. Okay, Then potential shareholders. Previously also I have explained who are potential shareholders. Shareholders means those who have already purchased the shares of the company. Potential shareholders are those shareholders, those who have not yet purchased the shares of our company, they are thinking to purchase. Okay, so with the help of the information of annual report, they will think, they will study first of all they will study our annual report, that whether it is sound to purchase that particular shares of that company or not. Okay, so in that case, see, this category of shareholder desire to buy shares of the company. Okay, till now they have not purchased. After investing in the company to decide whether they will have expected return or not, they use accounting information of the company. Okay, so with this information they will decide that whether they should use whether they should invest their shares whether they should invest their money in the share or not. Okay, then see, there is creditors. In creditors, short-term creditors are those who provide facility of goods on credit to the business enterprise. Okay, creditors are the person, those who sell us the raw material on credit. Okay, I have told whenever there is credit purchase, what is there? So creditors are there. See, creditors, in case of credit purchase, okay, it means they will sell us, okay, on credit. In future we are supposed to pay the money to them. Beside, in long-term creditors, financial institutions and debenture holders are included. Debenture holders are nothing but these are money taken from the public in the form of loan. Okay, see a debenture. Okay, I'll write what is debenture: money taken from public in the form of loan. Okay, that is debenture. Who takes this money? So company takes this money. Okay, so what is debenture? So company takes money from public in the form of loan. Okay, that is known as debenture. Okay, these parties have to collect their dues in future from the company. Okay, so they have they have sold us the raw material on credit. Okay, so in future we are supposed to pay them money. So they will see from our accounts that whether we are in a position to pay them or not. Okay, how is our future earning capacity? In future we will earn good amount of profit or not, we will be able to sell our products or not, how will be our economic condition in future. So all this the creditors are going to see. Once they are seeing this, they will analyze our financial condition and then only they will give us that is credit. Okay, then employees. Why employees are interested in our accounts? So see, from accounts of company, the employees of the company acquire the information about their salary improvement, that how much increment they will get, how much bonus, what kind of job safety is there. If the company is suffering loss, then there will be that is less security of their job, because when company is not able to earn, what they will do, they will fire some of the workers. Okay, that is, they will tell the workers to leave the job. So in that case, job safety is also to be seen. Generally, profit of accounts is important condition of the business enterprise is sound. Okay, when the company is earning good amount of profit, then the company is said to be sound. So they can estimate the security status of their service and development of the company. In this manner, account has utility for them also. So in this way, employees are also interested in the accounts of the company. Next is tax authorities. Okay, I have already told that tax is decided on the basis of profit. If the amount of profit is more, the tax will also be more. Okay, so here the government is also interested to see our accounts, because from our accounts they will find out whether the company is earning profit or not and what amount of profit is earned, because on that particular amount only they will decide our tax. Okay, so see, different types of tax are collected by the government in the company. Keeping this in mind, income, activities of business and other factors. To collect these taxes in the budget of every year, government makes provision. On the basis of this provision, tax are paid by the business enterprises and companies. Tax payment liability is determined from the accounts, that which I have already told, that they will see our accounts and they will see our profit amount. Accounts prepared and taxes paid, whether are prepared or paid as per budgetary provisions, are not it is not checked by the tax authorities. These taxes are collected by the state and central government. Okay, every state collect the tax from the businessman in that particular state. For this purpose, accounts are used by the tax authorities also. Okay, then we will see customers, how customers are interested in our account. Okay, see, customer of business can be considered one of the significant component of profit creation. Because why customers are the significant and important? Significant means important. Okay, what do you mean by significant? Important. Here if customers are not there, who will purchase our product? If our products are not sold, then how we will be able to earn profit? So that's why customers are the important. Customers are important for us to attain profit. Okay, existing market is not the market of seller, but it is the market of buyer. Why we are telling that it is not the market of seller? Because for seller the market is not there. For the buyers the market is created and generated. For buyer means for customers, various acts are prevailing and they are fully aware of their rights for purchase product. They are also aware of the price of product and service. Customers can get idea about price of the product or service from accounts of the company. So accounts are also useful to the customers also. Clear? Next we will see that is foreign enterprises. Okay, foreign entrepreneurs, sorry. Okay, foreign entrepreneur means the persons, those who are doing business from outside India. Okay, they are staying outside India but they are investing their money in India. Okay, so they are foreign entrepreneurs. Due to facility of communication and transport, the world has become very small. Sorry. Besides, economic restrictions are liberalized due to liberalization. Okay, liberalization, you all know that when the boundaries are kept open and little bit rules and regulations are kept liberal for one country, okay, to enter into another country and do the business. Consequently, foreign enterprise wish to sell the product and or services in other countries. However, before execution of this kind of decisions, they examine the aspects like solvency. Okay, so when they are ready to invest in Indian companies, okay, they will see that whether the company is solvent, liquidate, profitability. Liquidity is again same that the asset should be more than compared to liability. Okay, so profitability is there or not in that company. So all these things the foreign entrepreneur will see before investing the money in Indian companies. Okay, so after having this analysis, they make that decision. So accounts have important from the viewpoint of foreign entrepreneur. Okay, so these were the 8 points. Further we will see that is regulatory bodies. Okay, so which type of regulatory bodies are there? See, a company form of business is controlled either by the government or by the regulatory bodies by the government, so that general public will not have any kind of financial loss due to any steps or activities taken by the company. Okay, so for company also there is some regulatory body. It means there is someone who will see that company is not doing any kind of cheating with the shareholders or with the society or with the customers. Okay, for this purpose, SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, and IRDA, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, are established. Okay, so these are the two regulatory bodies. Okay, those who check that is the company has to work under the guidelines given by them. Okay, these body use accounts for preparation of rules and guidelines. Apart from this, whether accounts are prepared as per the norms or not is also examined by this body. Okay, they check that whether the accounts are prepared properly or not according to the rules and principles. Therefore, accounts are essential for regulatory bodies also. Then there is professional bodies. Okay, accounts preparers are known as professionals. Okay, those who are preparing the accounts, they might be the accountants or chartered accountants, those who will supervise later on. Okay, the accounts. Accounting is a profession. For fair management of profession, each country has professional bodies. Okay, from now onwards, the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India is functioning for accounting profession in this country. In the context of accounts, this body prepare guidelines and accounting standard so that uniformity and integration, that is uniformity means same, integration means there should not be anything which is going beyond the limit. Okay, so can be maintained in proper way. Okay, so these two things they have to check with while preparing the accounts. In addition to this, Institute of Chartered Secretary of India and the Institution of Cost Accountant of India also render necessary suggestions. So account assists professional bodies to prepare guidelines and accounting standard. So they are giving the guidelines to prepare the accounts. Each and every company has to follow the guidelines which are also given by these professional bodies. Okay, next is researchers and analysts. Okay, these are one category of user of accounting information, researchers and analysts. This group is interested to know whether profitability of the company, okay, what it is, what is the solvency of the company. Apart from this, they undertake research and analysis. why this kind of profitability or economic status exists, why in this quantum, that is why in this much high or this much low. So this kind of research analysis help the company and investors. Okay, so sometimes the companies are taking help of such kind of researchers. The contribution of this group of work is also significant. This group is not working only for its own interest, but they work for the benefit of others also. Okay, they will say that whether these researchers are not only working for company, but they also see that this company should not harm the customer, so they are working for both. The contribution of this group of user is also significant. This group is not only working only for its own interest, but they work for the benefit of others. So accounting information is necessary for these users. The institutions determining credit worthy function in India and abroad. Okay, so these are the institutions: CRISL, IL, CIBIL, ICRA, etc. are included. These agencies also use the published account, okay, by the companies. Next, at last, the government. It is the responsibility of the government to bring efficient and effective management in the country. The government form policies for the development of the country. Okay, if the company is developing, it means the government is also developing. Okay, so that's why government is also having interest in the companies and industries. For the formation of policies, relevant information is required. The information presented by the company is collected and is used for the formation of national policies. Okay, so once the company is forming their own policy, after that the government is also framing the national policies. Okay, so this accounting information play a vital role in policy oriented decisions of the government. So from the above discussion, the answer, who are the users? So there are many users. Okay, we have seen 12 users, those who are using this accounting information, and how they are using that also we have seen. The horizon of such accounting information are being expanded. Okay, that is, it is very this accounting information is very important for everyone, okay, in this society. Okay.